Greetings, Autobots, and welcome back to Autobot ASMR Reads the Meg. So let's just jump right in. I'm not going to waste too much time, and we're going to get stuck in with the next chapter of the book. If I recall correctly, we were on chapter 4. So let's just a little bit of page flicking for you guys. Aha, there we go. We are on Jonas. Let me just position a little bit. It's just a matter of getting everything all nice and organized before the show. You folks ready? Get yourselves nice and cozy, a nice cold drink, or even a wee meal, and settle down as we read the Meg. Jonas. The Dodge Caravan sped along the rain-slicked streets of San Diego. Terry was at the wheel, the rental car challenging every yellow traffic light. Jonas lay back in the passenger seat, the window open, the cold breeze soothing his headache and sore knuckles. His eyes remained open and on the road. The woman's dragon was making him nervous, but he kept studying the photograph in his mind. Taken 35,000 feet beneath the surface of the Western Pacific, the black and white photograph showed a spherical remote sensing device resting near a dark canyon wall. Jonas was somewhat familiar with these remarkable robotic devices, having followed their development in science journals. He had heard rumors that JAMSTEC, the Japan Marine Science and Technology Center, was involved with the Tanaka Institute in a joint project. My father agreed to deploy 25 Jonas drones into the Challenger Deep in exchange for financing for a whale lagoon in Monterey, Terry told him as they reached the freeway. The Jonas array is essentially an earthquake early warning system designed to monitor tremors along a 125-mile stretch of the underwater canyon where the Philippine sea plate meets the Pacific plate. Within days of the system's deployment, our surface ship, the Kiku, began receiving a steady stream of data, and seismologists on both sides of the Pacific were eagerly studying the information. Then something went wrong. 3 weeks after the array was up and running, one of the drones stopped transmitting data. A week later, 2 more units shut down. When another one stopped a few days after that, the JAMSTEC cut off our funding, demanding my father repair the array. Terry looked at Jonas. He sent my brother, DJ, down in the Abyss glider to video one of the damaged units. Alone? DJ's the most experienced pilot we have, but I agree with you. In fact, I argued with Masao to allow me to escort him down in the second glider. You? Terry glared at him. You have a problem with that? I happen to be a damn good pilot. I'm sure you are, but I don't know why I did an accent there. It's like Jason Statham in the movie. I'm sure you are. We're at 35,000 feet. What's the deepest you've ever soloed? That's a terrible impression, but... I've hit 16,000 twice. No problem. Not bad, Jonas admitted. You mean not bad for a woman? Easy, Gloria Steinem. I meant not bad for anyone. Very few humans have ever been down that deep. She forced a smile. Sorry, it gets frustrating, you know. My father is strictly old-fashioned Japanese. His grandmother was a geisha. Women are to be seen, not heard. It drives me crazy. Finish the story. What happened with DJ? I assume he took this photo? Yes, the photo came from his sub's night vision camera. Jonas glanced again at the photograph. The titanium sphere had been cracked open. Its tripod legs were mangled, a bolted bracket torn off. The hull itself looked battered beyond recognition. Where's the sonar plate? DJ found it 40 feet down current. He managed to haul it to the surface. It's back at the Institute in Monterey. That's why I tracked you down. My father needs you to take a look at it. Jonas stared at her skeptically. Why me? He didn't say. You can fly up with me in the morning and ask him. I'm taking the Institute's plane back at 8. Lost in thought, Jonas almost missed his house. There, on the left. She turned down the long, leaf-littered driveway, then parked in front of a single-story Spanish colonial, buried in foliage. Terry switched off the engine. Jonas turned to her and narrowed his eyes. Masao sent you all this way, just so I could render an opinion on scrap metal? My father needs advice about redeploying along the Challenger Deep. You want my advice? Stay the hell out of the Mariana Trench. It's far too dangerous to be exploring, especially on a one-man submersible. Everything's dangerous to a man who's lost his nerve. DJ and I are good pilots. We can handle this. What the hell happened to you anyway? I was only 17 when we first met, but you were different. I still remember your piss and vinegar attitude. I was actually attracted to your swagger. Swagger leaves you when you grow old. You're not old, but you are afraid. What are you so afraid of? A 60-foot prehistoric great white shark? Maybe I'm afraid of Asian women with too much swagger. She smirked. Let me tell you something. The data we collected during those first weeks the Jonas array was functioning was invaluable. If the earthquake detection system works, it'll save thousands of lives. No one's asking you to dive the Challenger deep. We simply want your opinion on why the Jonas was damaged. Is your schedule so damn busy that you can't take a day up to fly to the Institute? My father's asking for your help. Examine the sonar plate and review the video that my brother took, and you'll be home to your darling wife by tomorrow night. We'll pay you for your time, and I'm sure Dad will even arrange a personal tour of the new whale lagoon. Jonas took a breath. He considered Terry Tanaka a friend, a commodity he seemed to be running short of lately. When will we leave? Or when will we leave? Meet me tomorrow morning at the commuter airport, 7:30 sharp. The commuter. We're taking one of those puddle jumpers. Jonas swallowed hard. Relax. I know the pilot. See you in the morning. Jonas exited the van and watched her drive away. Oh, what the hell are you doing, JT? Jonas shut the door behind him and switched on the light, feeling for a moment like a stranger in his own home. The house was dead quiet. A trace of Maggie's perfume lingered in the air. She won't be home until late. Who are you kidding? She won't be home at all. He went into the kitchen, pulled a bottle of vodka from the cabinet, then changed his mind and turned on the coffee maker. He replaced the filter and added some coffee, then filled the slot with water. He ran the faucet, sucked cold water from the spigot, and rinsed out his mouth. For a long moment he stood at the sink, He stood at the sink, staring out the back window while the coffee brewed. It was dark out back. All he could see was his reflection in the glass. A favourite Talking Head song kept replaying in his mind. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. I don't know how the song goes, so apologies if it was out of tune. When the coffee was done, he grabbed a mug and the pot of coffee and went into his study. Sanctuary. The one room in the house that was truly his own. The walls were covered with contour maps of the ocean's continental margins, mountain ranges, abyssal plains, and deep-sea trenches. Fossilized megalodon teeth cluttered the shelves of a glass bookcase, sitting upright in their plastic support holders like small lead-grey stalagmites. A framed photo of a great white shark hung above his desk, sent to him by Andrew Fox, son of Rodney, the famous Australian photographer who'd nearly been bitten in two by a similar creature many years ago. Now the entire Fox family made livings taking pictures of the very animal that had scarred Rodney for life and given him his new livelihood. Jonas set the coffee mug down beside his computer, then positioned himself at the keyboard. A set of jaws from a 12-foot great white gaped at him from high above his monitor. He punched a few keys to access the internet and typed in the web address of the Tanaka Oceanographic Institute. Now, I've actually got a keyboard next to me, so do you know what? As a little treat, I have some little keyboard sounds. Just imagine this is Jonas clicking away on his keyboard. Just a little extra treat for you guys. Jonas sipped the hot coffee as he waited for the website to upload. He typed in the word Jonas. Jonas, unmanned nautical informational submersible. Designed and developed by the Tanaka Oceanographic Institute to track seismic disturbances along the seafloor, the Jonas system is composed of a 3-inch thick titanium outer shell. The unit is supported by 3 retractable legs and weighs 935 pounds. Jonas is designed to withstand pressures of 19,000 pounds per square inch and communicates information back to a surface ship by way of fibre optic cable. Jonas reviewed the engineering reports of the Jonas systems, impressed by the simplicity of the design. Positioned along a seismic fault line, their tripod legs burrowing deep into the ocean floor, the Jonas remotes could detect the telltale signs of an earthquake or an impending tsunami, providing, as Terry had said, an invaluable early warning system. Southern Japan had the misfortune of being geographically located within a convergence zone of 3 major tectonic plates. Periodically, these plates ground against one another, generating about 1/10 of the world's annual earthquakes. One devastating Japanese quake in 1923 had killed more than 440,000 people. Masao Tanaka had been desperately seeking a bank to underwrite his dream project, a man-made cetacean lagoon located off the coast of Monterey. Jamstech had agreed to fund the Tanaka Institute in exchange for the completion of the Jonas early warning system. Now the system's breakdown was pushing the Tanaka Institute towards bankruptcy, and Masao needed Jonas's help. He drained his coffee cup. The Challenger Deep. Submersible pilots referred to it as Hell's antechamber. Jonas just called it Hell. 6 miles away, Terry Tanaka, freshly showered and wrapped in a hotel bath towel, sat on the edge of her queen-size bed at the Holiday Inn, her blood pressure still elevated. Jonas Taylor had really irked her. The man was obstinate, with strong chauvinistic ideas. Why her father had insisted the team seek his input was beyond her. Pulling out her briefcase, she decided to review the personnel file on Professor Jonas Taylor. She knew the basics by heart. Bachelor's of Science from Penn State University, advanced degrees from the University of California, San Diego, and Scripps Institute of Oceanography. Trained at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute as a submersible pilot, and now had just published a controversial book on paleobiology. At one time, Jonas Taylor had been considered one of the most experienced Argonauts in the world. He had piloted the Alvin submersible 17 times. Oops. Nearly lost my place there. Leading multiple explorations to 4 different deep-sea trenches. And then 7 years ago, for some unknown reason, had simply given it all up. It doesn't make sense, Terry said aloud. Thinking back to the lecture earlier that evening, she remembered the balding man who had revealed that Jonas had piloted a naval expedition into the Mariana Trench. Her father knew this, of course. It was the reason why he had sent her to bring Jonas into their council. The 3-month stay in a mental ward, however, was news to her. Terry powered up her laptop. She entered her password, then accessed the Institute's computers, searching for Mariana Trench. Mariana Trench, location, Western Pacific Ocean, east of Philippines, close to the island of Guam. Facts: deepest known depression on Earth, measures 35,827 feet deep, 10,920 meters, over 1,550 miles long, 2,500 kilometers, averages 40 miles in width, making the trench the deepest abyss on the planet and the second longest. The deepest area of the Mariana Trench is called the Challenger Deep. Note, a 5-pound bowling ball dropped from the surface would require more than an hour of descent time to reach the bottom. Exploration. Manned. On January 23rd, 1960, the US Navy bathyscaphe Trist descended 35,800 feet deep, nearly touching the bottom of the Challenger Deep. On board were US Navy Lieutenant Donald Walsh and Swiss oceanographer Jacques Piccard. In the same year, the French bathyscaphe Archimede completed a similar dive. In each case, the bathyscaphe simply descended and returned to the surface ship. Exploration. Unmanned. In 1993, the Japanese launched Kaiko, an unmanned robotic craft which descended to 35,798 feet before breaking down. Terry skimmed through the file, skipping the recent reference to the Jonas deployment. Nothing about Jonas Taylor here or the naval dive 7 years ago. She signed off and closed the laptop, thinking back to the lecture. Her first meeting with Jonas Taylor had been 10 years ago in a symposium held in San Francisco, sponsored by the Tanaka Oceanographic Institute. Nassau had invited the deep-sea Navy pilot to speak about his dive into the Puerto Rican sea trench. At the time, Terry was fresh out of high school. She had worked closely with her father, organising the symposium, coordinating travel and hotel arrangements for more than 70 scientists from around the world. She had booked Jonas's ticket and met him at the airport herself. She recalled developing a schoolgirl crush on the deep-sea pilot with the athletic build. Terry looked at his picture again in her file. Tonight, Taylor had clearly lacked the confidence of their earlier meeting. He was still a physical specimen, possessing a handsome face, bearing a few more stress lines around the eyes. The dark brown hair was turning grey near the temples. 6'3", she guessed about 195. But something was missing on the inside. What had happened to the man? And why had her father insisted on locating him? As far as Terry was concerned, Jonas Taylor's involvement was the last thing the Eunice project needed. Jonas woke up on his office sofa, his wool suit jacket serving as a blanket. A dog was barking somewhere in the neighbourhood. He squinted at the clock. 6:08 a.m. He sat up slowly, his aching head pounding, his foot knocking over the half-empty coffee pot, staining the beige carpet. Brown. Computer printouts from the overflowing catch tray were scattered around him. He rubbed his bloodshot eyes, then glanced at the computer. His screensaver was on. He tapped the mouse, revealing a diagram of the Eunice remote glowing on screen. His memory came flooding back. The dog stopped barking. The house seemed unusually quiet. Jonas got up, went into the hallway, and walked down to the master bedroom. Maggie wasn't there. Their bed hadn't been touched. Prick. Well, folks, that was another chapter of The Meg. So, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe to join the Autobot army if you want to see more, not just reading videos, Transformers videos, gaming videos, all manner of awesome content for you lovely folks to enjoy. And let me tell you, I'd actually like to go in depth or talk a bit more about the book itself after that, because like I said before, they changed a few things here from the movie. The book focuses more, because this is the original version of what became the movie. Pardon me. And I'd like to say how the movie does the action of the shark scenes really well, but the movie just didn't quite have the same focus on the characters that the book has. Taking a wee sip. I'm just a bit thirsty. But in regards to the character of Jonas Taylor, I think Jason Statham pretty much played him perfectly, though I just wish the movie had a bit more focus on his character. But hey, maybe they'll expand upon it more in the later movies. I haven't seen the second one yet. The second one, it looks fun. You know, it looks like one of those movies that you would just watch and have a good time. So, with all that being said, this is Autobot ASMR, signing off for the night. Autobots, transform and roll out to bed till all are one.